San Diego Union Tribune article earlier today. Man rams car into two Capitol Police, one officer, driver killed. U.S. Police Capitol officer stand near crashed into the barrier on Capitol Hill, Washington, Friday, April 2nd, 2021. Associated Press. I'll read this article. Washington Capitol police officer was killed Friday after a man rammed a car into two officers at the barricade outside the U.S. Capitol. Then emerged wielding a knife. It was the second line of duty death this year for the department, still struggling to heal from January 6th insurrection. Video shows the driver of the crashed car emerged with a knife in his hand and started to run at a pair of officers. Capitol Police Acting Chief Yogananda Pittman told reporters authorities shot the suspect who died in the hospital. I just ask that the public continue to keep the U.S. Capitol Police and their families in your prayers, Pittman said. This has been an extremely difficult time for the U.S. Capitol Police after the events of January 6th. Now the events that have occurred here today. Police identified the slain officer as William Billy Evans, an 18-year veteran who was the member of the department's first responders unit. Two law enforcement officers told the Associated Press that investigators initially believed the suspect stabbed one of the officers, but it was later unclear whether the knife actually made contact, in part because of the vehicle struck officers with such force. Officials were not authorized to publicly discuss the investigation and spoke on condition of anonymity. Authorities said there was an ongoing threat, though the Capitol was put on lockdown for the time as a precaution. There was also no immediate connection apparent between Friday's crash and January 6th riot. Law enforcement officials identified the suspect as a 25-year-old Noah Green. Investigators were digging into his background, examining whether he had any mental health history as they tried to discern a motive. They were also working to obtain warrants to access his online accounts. Pittman said the suspect did not appear to have been on the police radar, but the attack underscored that on the campus people died on January 6th riot, including Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick, who was among badly outnumbered force trying to fight off the intruders seeking to overturn the election. Authorities installed a tall perimeter fence around the Capitol, and for months restricted traffic along the road closest to the building. But they had begun rolling back some of the emergency measures, fencing that prevented vehicular traffic near that area was only recently removed. Evans was the seventh Capitol Police member to die in the line of duty in the department history, according to the officer down memorial page, which tracks death of law enforcement. In addition to officers, one from the Capitol Police and another from the Washington Metropolitan Police Department died by suicide following January 6th attack. So 140 Capitol police officers were wounded in the attack, including officers not issued helmets, sustained head injuries, and one with cracked ribs, according to the officers' union. It took hours for the National Guards to arrive. The lane that has driven months of finger point between that day key decision makers. Capitol Police and National Guard troops were called upon soon after to secure the Capitol during the Biden inauguration, face another potential threat in early March, linked to conspiracy theories falsely claiming Trump would retake the presidency. Today, once again, these heroes risk their lives to protect our capital and our country. With the same extraordinary selflessness, the spirit of service seen on January 6th, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said in a statement on behalf of the entire House, "We are profoundly grateful." The U.S. Capitol complex was placed on lockdown for the time after the Friday shooting. Staffers were told they could not enter or exit the building. Video showed guard troops mobilizing near the area of the crash. Video posted online showed a dark-colored sedan crash against a vehicle barrier and a police K-9 inspecting the vehicle. Law enforcement paramedics could be seen caring for at least officers with a knife. NBC New York News, Jonathan Dennis reports.
Shalom. Foremost, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushua, Bashim, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles for the edification and knowledge. Kahaliyah, Bashim, Yahushua, Bashim, Rakakadash. Give all praise again to Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushua, Bashim, Rakakadash. This relates to NBC News, New York, and also San Diego Union Tribune article relating to the U.S. Capitol police officer killed, another badly injured relating to a Capitol car attack at the barricade at the Capitol earlier today. We'll get a few scriptures real quick. Isaiah 19. This is Isaiah 19. It's Isaiah 19 and 2. And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. Matthew 24, Luke 21, Mark 13. Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Things happen in diverse places. This relates to Egyptian verse. I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian. That's the citizen versus citizen. This relates to building up that civil unrest. I'm going to go to 2 Timothy's. 2 Timothy's This 2 Timothy's 3:1. I'm going to read a few verses down. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. That's where we're in, perilous times, man. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, which lack of control, fierce despisers of those that are good, traitors, heedy, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof. For such turn away. For this sort of they which creep into houses, laid captive silly women laden with sins, and led away with different lust. I'm going to read a few verses down. I'll just read it down. Ever learning, never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Now James and Jambres they were sorceries, withstood Moses. So do these also resist the truth? Men of corrupt minds reprobate concerning the faith. But they shall proceed no further, for their folly shall be manifest unto all men, as theirs also was. But thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, propose faithful, long-suffering, charity, patience, persecution, affliction, which came into me at Antioch and Iconium and Lystra, which persecutions I endured, but out of them all the Lord delivered me. Yea, and all that will live godly in Hamashiach shall suffer persecution. So they're going to go through a lot of things. These relate to the certain characteristics, how people are going to be in the times to come. Right now, and definitely in the latter times. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. And that's what's happened. Evil men and seducers, man. The spiritual wickedness in high places. So many are going to be deceived. Many are going to wax worse. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned from, and that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise into salvation through faith, which is in Hamashiach. All scriptures is given for inspiration of Yahweh, and is profitable for doctrine, reproof, correction, and instruction relating to this truth and knowledge. So it's profitable, is profitable for teaching, and it's truthful. What is written is for learning, for building in wisdom. 17. That the man of Yahweh may be perfect, through furnished into all good works. This relates to the believers, man. You know, resource for the believers. And this talks about the verses I was reading talks about, like I said, relating to how people are going to be in the latter times, man. The characteristics of the traits that some of the people are going to be right now and definitely later on. I'm going to go to go to Matthews real quick. We'll read Matthew's 10:34. Think not that I come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace but a sword. So that's that spirit of division, strife, and contention. And that's the spirit we're seeing. Related to January 6th with the insurrection, now this Capitol incident that happened today. For I am come to set man at variance against father, daughter, against mother, against daughter-in-law, against her mother-in-law, and a man's foe shall be they of his own household. And that relates to pretty much internal matters relating to your family. You know what I mean? So it's going to be this division, dissension between your own household, man's own household. But that spirit of division and strife is going to be set forth, because that's being set forth upon the multitude of nations of people, man. Just see how just watch the characteristics of from a spiritual aspect how people are. I'm going to go to 24 of we'll go to 24 and 12. This is 24 Matthews and 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So that love, it's not going to be so much love, you know what I mean? So it's going to, wickedness and iniquity is going to pretty much accumulate and abound. And that love is going to wax cold. It's not going to be no love, you know what I mean? Because this relates to what you're seeing relating to the characteristics how people are going to be in the times now, and definitely in the times to come. I'm going to go to Ecclesiastes. I didn't want to make this video too long. I'm going to read 39 and 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury shall lay on short strokes, in the time of their destruction. They pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made him. Fire, hail, famine, deaths, all these were created for vengeance. The examples of different things that were created for vengeance, man. The teeth of wild animals, the scorpion, serpents, and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. So there are spirits that are created for vengeance, man. And sometimes man can be set forth as used as a tool for punishment. The spirit can be put on man to be used as a tool for vengeance, man. And different other things, as I read, fire, hail, famine, death, and all these things are created for vengeance, man. Also, like I said, man could be used as that tool too. You know what I mean? For example, today, what happened? The Capitol. I'm going to go to second Esdras, 15:14. Woe into 15:14 through I'll just read a few. Woe unto the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, which is near. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, invading one another, and they shall not regard the kings nor princes. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And that's what's happened. You see, for example, January 6th, the insurrection. So they rising up. They're not regarding the kings and princes, the ones in authority. For example, that would be law enforcement. Right? So they're not respecting the kings and princes, the ones in the position of power. And that spirit of civil unrest, that spirit of strife and contentions being set forth, man. And a man shall desire to go into the city, should not be able to, because of their pride. The city shall be in trouble, the house shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And men shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because of a lack of bread and great tribulation. So really 16 makes the point. That civil unrest, the spirit of the insurrection, violent uprising, we're seeing a lot. Start seeing cases at it. There's that spirit of visions being set forth. That being said, this is something short. Give all praise Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahshai, Ba'Shem Rakakadash. The water for listening. Shalom.